Your home. It's the place you lay your head at night, but it's so much more than that. People, attitudes, and actions contribute to making a house a home. It doesn't take a professional decorator to make your home beautiful, to make it a place you love. It really just takes a commitment to loving the home you have and loving the people in it. So I've got a list of 10 homemaking habits that you can cultivate to tangibly serve the people you love and help you love your home a little more in 2025. The first habit is do your dishes. You need a kitchen that cooks. That is what kitchens are for. A dirty kitchen with cluttered counters and stacks of dirty dishes, it doesn't cook well. Dishes are a fact of life you've got to learn to deal with. They are what stands in your way between a kitchen that's functional or not. And if you don't stay on top of your dishes, you're not gonna have space to work in your kitchen. There are plenty of tasks around the home that need to be done again and again, like sweeping and laundry and dusting. But I think that the dishes are the most in your face. Dirty floors and clothes, while they're annoying, they can be put off for days at a time. But dishes, left undone, they seriously impact your ability to prepare food and to enjoy the process of doing so. We need to cook multiple times every day, so it might as well be enjoyable, right? A clean and uncluttered kitchen is just more fun to work in. Plus, the longer you put off doing your dishes, the more time they take to do. If you have a dishwasher, put it to work. And if you don't have a dishwasher, your dishes still need to get done every day. You can make excuses for why it's hard to get your dishes done, but when you're done making excuses, your dishes are still gonna be waiting for you. It's time to get them done. Habit number 2 is to declutter. I think you've probably got stuff in your home that doesn't need to be there, right? You have things you're saving for just in case. Maybe things you spent good money on, but you're not using. Things you received as a gift from a loved one that you don't use, but you feel bad getting rid of. If you've got kids, they've probably got more toys than they know what to do with, which makes you feel anxious and sometimes angry, if we're honest, because you're constantly having to tell them to pick up after themselves. And you've got things that promised to make your life easier, but they didn't deliver. They just ended up making things more complicated. And you just have to keep cleaning up around them. And every time you look at that thing, you feel mad at yourself for wasting money on it. Maybe that's just me. There's probably also stuff that is just recyclable or garbage, but just never seems to make it out of the door on garbage day. Our homes are filled with stuff, and it's stressing us out, isn't it? But it doesn't have to be this way. We don't calm the noise by adding to it. We've got to edit. We've got to get things out, and we can get rid of stuff we're not using. We can slow the rate at which we bring things into our homes. We're not powerless in this situation. You have a decision to make. We can't keep bringing stuff into our houses without sending stuff back out. And the more we get honest about what we don't need, the easier it becomes to make better purchasing decisions moving forward. The third habit is to simplify. And I know that's a very broad category of something to do. I could make a whole video on that. Simplifying could mean 10 different things. But one way I simplify my home is to reduce the amount of options that I have and deciding once. I find a product that works and I stick with it. Everyone in my family uses the same kind of shampoo and conditioner. I buy it in bulk. We refill the bottles when they're empty. I buy my dish and my dishwasher soap in bulk as well. And when I'm running low on one of these things, I am not reinventing the wheel, looking for a new product to try. I know what I like, I stick with what works. And I also simplify by not having a ton of kitchen gadgets. Most things can be cut on a cutting board with a knife. You don't need all those unitaskers that are promising to make your life easier, but just cluttering up your drawers. Most things can be cooked on the stove or in the oven. You don't need a countertop full of small kitchen appliances in order to make food. We often think what we want is choice, but making decisions gets exhausting, and managing all that stuff is exhausting. There are so many ways that you can decide once and move on with your life. You don't have to keep making these decisions over and over again. I also simplify by having a regular laundry routine to get towels and bed linens through the wash. And I simplify by keeping my kitchen stocked with the same basic lunch supplies for my kids. We're not making decisions about any of these things repeatedly. We just have an autopilot that works, and it's a lot less stuff to think about. I'm really curious to know what simplifying means to you in your home, so let me know in the comments. My fourth habit that I would encourage you to take on this year is to do it now. So this is my kind of productivity hack, I guess, if you want to call it that. I don't think I read this anywhere. I think I came up with this myself. Regardless, it's just called do it now. So when I have a mental to-do list, I really easily get bogged down with all those things that I need to do. And the more things that are on my list, the noisier my brain gets. I can't focus. I can't think critically about what needs to get done. It's like there's this din, humming, like a noise. This constant, continuous, unceasing noise that makes it hard for me to hear my own thoughts. And when I feel this way, and I can't think over the din in my brain, I think, do it now. Do it now. It can be anything. I just pick something to do right now, get it off the to-do list, get it onto my done list. And this has improved my proclivity to procrastination so much. If there are things that would take me anywhere from 1 to 5 minutes to complete, I do it now. And the more I just do the easy stuff that's right in front of me, the quieter my mind gets. I can focus so much better. So then when the simple things are taken care of, I can do the things that take a little more time and effort because I'm not being shouted at by the to-do list in my head. I also find it really helpful to keep visible lists for those things that can't be done immediately so that I don't forget about doing them. So I have a listing app on my phone called Clear that helps me keep my thoughts and my days organized. If you are getting some value from this video, it would be great if you would leave me a thumbs up. Okay, let's get on to the next one, and that is meal planning. Supper, dinner, whatever you want to call it, that meal at the end of the day, it comes for all of us every day. And I have lived years of my life shocked by the arrival of supper time. But then there it is. It's not going anywhere. I used to make cooking way more complicated than it needed to be, and I thought I needed to be finding new recipes all the time. Don't get me wrong, I love to be creative in the kitchen, but not every day lends itself to that. This is another area of my life that I've learned to simplify. I have a list of easy meals so that figuring out what we're gonna eat is as low stress as possible. I will plan for a week at a time or a month at a time. You can call it a meal plan, call it a strategy, call it whatever you want, as long as you figure out a way to get food on the table for your family with less stress. You could use theme nights like Taco Tuesday and Pizza Night. You could just keep your kitchen stocked with simple ingredients that work for a lot of different meals so that you know that you're gonna have something to cook when supper comes knocking on your door. Cooking doesn't have to be complicated, and it's such a practical way to show that you care for the people around you by making nutritious food for them. I didn't even know how to cook when I got married, so this has been a steep learning curve for me, and meal planning used to literally make me cry. I'm not even joking, I wish I was. But so if I can figure this out, there is hope for you too. Okay, my next habit is to clean as you go. When you're cooking, or doing anything, but I'm using cooking as an example, do as much of the cleanup as you can while you're cooking. Some of the meals that you make might be easier to do this with than with others, but some seasons of life make this easier than others too. Like if you've got babies, it's really hard to clean as you go when you're trying to cook with a baby in one arm and stir stuff with the other hand. But if you can, it will make the work of cleaning up after a meal so much easier. Having a sink ready with soapy dishwater so you can wash things when you're done with them makes a huge difference, or just loading them directly into the dishwasher. Clean up your veggie scraps as you're peeling stuff, like get it off the counter, clean it up, rinse your cans, toss them in the recycling bin. Cleaning as you go, it applies to every aspect of your house too, wherever you are. So If you're maybe in your bathroom, you're gathering towels to throw them in the washing machine, give your bathroom mirror a wipe down before you leave the room. If you've unpacked your groceries, don't just leave your bags laying around. Put your reusable grocery bags back in your vehicle so that they're out of the way in your house and they're ready to grab the next time you head to the store. If you're going upstairs, grab something that belongs up there, put it away. A decluttered home still has stuff in it, right? I haven't gotten rid of everything when I say declutter. There's still stuff here, and that stuff can get out of control if we don't actively work to keep things where they belong. And the more things pile up, the more they pile up. So making a habit of setting things right not only makes things look tidier, it also discourages things from ending up where they don't belong. An empty, uncluttered countertop doesn't invite stuff to come and sit on it, but a cluttered countertop just says, hey, anything goes, do whatever you want. So find ways to clean as you go. Next one is stick to a budget. So our resources are finite. Your income, it is what it is. And we all need to learn to live within our means. Creating a budget just means making a plan for how you are gonna spend your money. Sticking to a budget means that you're gonna have peace of mind that you'll be able to pay for the things that are most important. Your mortgage or your rent, your utility bills, your groceries. When you're living within your means, whether you have much or little, you can love your home and be content with it in whatever state it is. There might be things you want to do in your home to improve it, make it function better or feel more welcoming. If you have enough money to do what you want, or you need to save for a while, or you can't afford to do that thing at all, sticking to your budget and not going into debt will make you love your home and appreciate what you have so much more when you're not in debt for it. In my opinion, a scrappy, paid-for couch is better than one you can't afford. The next habit is to learn to use what you have. Before rushing out to buy the latest thing that the internet is telling you, you need to have it, or instead of rushing out, just even easier, just ordering it online, stop. Try using what you have. You probably have something that gets the job done. If you have lived this long without needing it, chances are you'll do okay without it for a little while longer, while you use your clever brain to think about why this would or would not be a good use of your money. Do you need a shampoo bar? Or do you already have a lot of shampoo to use up? Do you need to be able to put your area rug in the washing machine, or can you keep using the one you've got? Do you need to replace your water bottle that works perfectly fine with a new one that has some other special features? I don't know, what do you need a water bottle to do except hold your water? Using what you have is financially wise, and it's the most sustainable option. Finding ways to make use of what you have before rushing out to buy more, it might make you appreciate what you have. This next habit I want to be working on a lot more this year, and that is to learn something new. If you're bored at home, it's time to learn something new. There's more to homemaking than cooking, cleaning, and laundry. And even in these three aspects of homemaking, you probably have not exhausted all there is to know and be skilled at, right? Challenge yourself to grow in some aspect of homemaking that you either find challenging or that you just find it intriguing. And it's so important to go into this with an attitude of humility. You have to be humble about this. You probably won't be great at whatever it is you're trying the first time. You want to learn to make pies? Your first one might be ugly. You want to learn to knit? Your first knitting project might be kind of embarrassing. Your first sourdough loaf might be as hard as a brick, which could potentially drive you to tears because you waited hours for that thing to ferment, and now nobody wants to eat this thing. You can laugh these things off. Your first attempt at gardening might produce blighted tomatoes and overripe string beans that nobody is wanting to eat for supper, and it's fine. These are all part of the learning process. And we have to be willing to be bad at something before we can be good at it. What are you teaching your kids if you break down in tears and never want to try something again because your first attempt didn't work out? Embrace the process of learning. There's so much to learn. And the final habit that I want to encourage you to really cultivate this year is to find joy in the everyday stuff. I have mentioned this before, but I will say it again. Being at home full time is not a curse on women. It is a blessing to be at home, caring for my family and taking care of my kids. There are blessings around every corner. The peace and stillness of the day before the kids are in perpetual motion, the steam that rises from your mug of tea in the morning sunlight, the sound of your daughter giggling when her brother tickles her, or that feeling of pulling warm towels out of the dryer, and the gift of folding such a very simple load of laundry that doesn't take a lot of energy. But then there's also folding a load of laundry that has 20 tiny socks in it. And that's a great joy too, because those feet are not going to be tiny forever. So embrace the life you've been given, whatever it looks like. There's joy to be found there, and God has been very, very good to you. Thank you for hanging out with me today. I hope that I am making videos that inspire you to take care of your home with purpose and with joy. So if that interests you, make sure that you are subscribed so that we can spend more time together. I'll see you next time.